which is NumPy. Now, in the name of NumPy, it is a combination of NumNum and Py. So what do you mean by NumNum? Means numerical. And what do you mean by Py? Python. So NumPy stands for numerical Python. Now, what is the role and significance of NumPy? That means what NumPy will do in Python. So NumPy will help to create any homogeneous n-dimensional array. Now, the question comes, what do you mean by homogeneous and what do you mean by n-dimension array? Now, the first thing is, what do you mean by homogeneous array? So, if the elements of an array, types are common, that means if all elements of array type is unique, that is integer or string, then we say that it is homogeneous. Still, we did not understand. That means we can say that, let us consider if in any array, like what do you mean by array first, you will ask. Then any entries within the big bracket. Let us consider how we can say it is homogeneous. Let us consider, I'm telling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 within the big bracket and each elements are separated by comma. Then we call it as an array. Now, because all the entry types are integer, because I'm saying within big bracket 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all the elements type is what? Integer. So definitely type of elements are common. Then that means it is known as homogeneous. Now what we will say that dimension here. So it is one dimension. Now what do you mean by dimension? Just I will explain you within 1 minute. So first, the concept of NumPy is numerical Python. What work he will do and what is the role of NumPy in Python? It will create a homogeneous array of n dimension. So the things are very clear. What do you mean by an array? That means entry of elements within the big bracket separated by comma. That is an array. Now what is homogeneous? So what we say that homogeneous means the entry of elements types will be 1. So for an example, what is array? Let us consider within big bracket 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is an array. Now what is the type of all the entry? It is integer. So we say that it is homogeneous. So right now we can understand what do you mean by homogeneous array. Now the second question comes, what is n dimension? So this entry, what we are saying within the big bracket is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is the dimension? It is one dimension. Now I will be coming to exactly what do you mean by 2-dimension array, 3-dimension array, and so on. So right now we understood the NumPy stands for numerical Python, and the role and significance of NumPy in the Python is to create a homogeneous n-dimensional array. So we are very clear what is an array, because it is nothing but the elements within the big bracket separated by comma. What do you mean by homogeneous? All the elements within the big bracket will be equal in data types. That means all are integer, means all elements will be integer. So types of elements are integer, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is nothing but homogeneous. Then the second point is, how do we install NumPy in the your system? So it is very simple. When you have the Python 3, which we are working now in our system, then we can go to CMD terminal and we can use the command pip install NumPy. Your NumPy will get installed. Fine. I installed my NumPy. I understood also what do you mean by NumPy, and then how do we call NumPy in our program? So as I said, NumPy is nothing but to create an n-dimensional homogeneous array. Then how we are going to call in our program NumPy. So with the help of command import NumPy as NP, that is NP, small n small p, we will bring the library function of NumPy in our program. Let us consider you want to create a one-dimensional homogeneous array. Then we can first line in our program we will write import NumPy. What do you mean by this? Import NumPy means it will import NumPy numerical Python function, and always in the program in place of NumPy you can write small np, which will be very easy to write it down. So first line, if we are writing in our code, let us consider I want to create one-dimensional homogeneous array. Then the first line of the program I will write import NumPy as NP. That means I am calling the NumPy function, I am importing the NumPy function, and in the program in place of NumPy I can write NP. So it is a very simple concept of NumPy. To call it in your from the library, we call it as import NumPy as NP. Now, the second thing is one very basic question comes in our mind, that what is the exact difference between Python list and NumPy array? Because if I am a student, which I will be knowing also that, okay, the elements entered within the big bracket is also known as list. Somewhere I know. Then sir is also telling the entry of the elements within the bracket is nothing but NumPy array. So what is exactly difference between Python list and NumPy array? So my dear friend, NumPy array, the data types will be common. That is, within the big bracket, if I'm writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it is nothing but homogeneous. So we call NumPy array. But when we talk about the Python list, in that case, the types of data will be more than one. That means if I'm writing within the bracket 1, that is integer, comma, double within the double quotes, if I'm writing Mukesh, that will be nothing but the string. So we can say that it is a list. That means the data types in the big bracket are nothing but more than one. So when the data types are more than one, it will be list. But when the data types are only one, then it will be homogeneous array. So I think we are very clear that Python list data types will be more than one. It will be integer and a string. But in the homogeneous array, the data types will be only one, and that is nothing but integer or string. But data types should be one. Generally, we will call it as the NumPy array in the program. It is nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it is nothing but one-dimensional array with data type integer. So it is known as NumPy array. Now, the question is, what do you mean by dimension, one dimension, two dimension, and how do we index the NumPy elements in the array, which will be the second topic of our module 1. Thank you.